That postcard image of Florida retirement, the one with the palm trees, the pristine golf course, and the shimmering blue water, is still crystal clear in your mind. It's the dream you've worked for, the reward for decades of saving. But when you start looking at the price tags, that dream gets a little blurry. In fact, for millions of Americans, that dream is evaporating right before their eyes. The sunshine isn't free, and the cost of living in paradise has exploded. We're not just talking about inflation, we are talking about a perfect storm of skyrocketing insurance rates, crippling property taxes, and a relentless flood of new residents driving housing prices into the stratosphere. That affordable bungalow you bookmarked 5 years ago, it's doubled. That comfortable nest egg you calculated, it might not last 10 years. Today, we're taking a road trip through the Sunshine State, but we're not stopping at the tourist traps. We are pulling back the curtain on 10 retirement cities that are becoming dangerously unaffordable. We'll drive from the cheaper north all the way down to the exclusive coastal enclaves, and the numbers we found will shock you. You might be horrified to find your safe bet city on this list. And you will definitely want to stick around until number 1. It's a place many believe is the ultimate retirement paradise, but the financial data reveals a brutal, multi-million-dollar reality. If you are planning a move or just want the hard truth about the real cost of sunshine, do us a favor and hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe for more financial realities no one else is talking about. Let us know in the comments, which Florida city do you think has become the most overpriced? Number 10. Jacksonville. We begin our journey in North Florida, in a city many still point to as the affordable alternative, Jacksonville. Being the largest city by land area in the contiguous United States, the logic was simple. There's more room to build, so prices should stay reasonable. For a long time, that was true, but the secret is out. Jacksonville has become a magnet for relocators, and the financial strain is starting to show. According to data from Redfin, the median home sale price in Jacksonville is now hovering right around $400,000. While that might sound decent compared to South Florida, Zillow reports that values have climbed steadily, locking out those on a fixed income. But the sticker price of the house isn't the real dagger. The Insurance Information Institute confirms that Florida has the highest homeowners insurance rates in the nation, and Jacksonville is no exception. We're hearing reports from new homeowners seeing their annual premiums triple from their previous state, often adding an extra $500 to $700 to their monthly payment. It gets worse. PayScale notes that while the overall cost of living is near the national average, Jacksonville's utility costs are roughly 10% higher. When your retirement budget is tight, an extra 10% on air conditioning in the Florida heat is a massive blow. And if you were thinking of renting to test the waters, Rent Cafe shows the average rent is pushing $2,000 a month. With the median retirement income reported by the Census Bureau struggling to keep up, affordable Jacksonville is quickly becoming a tight squeeze. The appeal was that you could get the Florida lifestyle without the Miami price. But as costs rise, that appeal is fading fast. Is Jacksonville losing its affordability edge? Let us know what you're seeing on the ground. Number 9. Orlando. Driving south from Jacksonville, we head into the heart of the state, a city built on imagination, Orlando. You might think it's just for tourists, but for decades, retirees flocked here for its world-class healthcare, endless entertainment, and central location. The problem is, you are now competing with Disney World, Universal Studios, and a massive low-wage tourism economy for resources. And that competition is expensive. The Orlando Regional Realtor Association confirms the median home price here is sitting near $420,000. But the real issue is the tourism tax on daily life. BestPlaces.net calculates the cost of living at about 4% higher than the national average, but that number feels deceptively low. The cost of goods and services, especially restaurants, transportation, and basic labor, is inflated by the billions of dollars flowing through the theme parks. You are paying a premium to live near the magic, even if you never buy a ticket. Furthermore, this is not a walkable city.
You must own a car, and with that comes the astronomical insurance rates Florida is famous for. Policy Genius recently highlighted that car insurance rates in the state have jumped, and Orlando's congested highways make it a hotspot. And homeowners insurance? Because Orlando is inland, you might think you're safe from hurricane rates. You would be wrong. After recent storms tracked directly through the center of the state, insurers are panicked. Rates are now easily exceeding $5,000 a year for an average home, a cost that simply wasn't factored into retirement budgets a decade ago. Zumper reports that the average rent for a two-bedroom apartment is well over $2,000. Orlando might be where dreams come true for vacationers, but for retirees, the financial reality can be a nightmare. Think the magic is worth that price tag?
Number 8. Tampa. Now we head west, cutting across to the vibrant Gulf Coast, arriving in the booming Tampa Bay area. Tampa is on fire. The city is growing, the downtown is revitalizing, and young professionals are flooding in for tech and finance jobs. This is fantastic for the city's economy, but it is brutal for retirees on a fixed income. You are now in direct competition with high-earning millennials, and they are driving prices sky high. Redfin data shows the median sale price in Tampa is climbing again, sitting around $430,000. But Tampa was one of the hottest relocation destinations in the entire country for the past 3 years, and that influx of cash buyers has warped the market. According to PayScale, the cost of living here is higher than the Florida average, with groceries and utilities being notable expenses. And the housing market is just the beginning. The Tampa Bay Times has reported extensively on the insurance crisis. Because Tampa Bay is uniquely vulnerable to storm surge, insurers are fleeing the market or demanding astronomical premiums. If you buy a home, you may be forced into the state-run insurer of last resort, which is expensive and offers less coverage. If you're thinking of renting, Apartment List notes that while rents have stabilized from their massive spikes, the average is still around $2,100. As home values soared, so did property tax bills, shocking longtime residents who suddenly found their tax bill had doubled, an expense their fixed income was never designed to handle. The city is buzzing with energy, new restaurants, and sports teams, but that energy is being paid for by someone, and increasingly it's pricing out the people who retired there for the quiet coastal life. Is Tampa's boom becoming bad news for retirees? Number 7. St. Petersburg. We don't have to drive far for our next stop, just across the bay to what was once Tampa's sleepier, artsier cousin, St. Petersburg. For years, if you found Tampa too busy, you moved to St. Petersburg for its walkable downtown, beautiful waterfront parks, and thriving art scene. Not anymore. The Sunshine City has become a premium city. It's so desirable that it has become more expensive than Tampa in many key metrics. Realtor.com shows the median listing price in St. Petersburg is often pushing $475,000, significantly higher than its neighbor. Zillow's data shows that home values here exploded over the last 5 years, far outpacing any cost of living adjustments for Social Security. The cost of living, according to Best Places, is now higher than both Tampa and the national average, driven almost entirely by housing. Living anywhere near that vibrant, walkable downtown core is now reserved for the very wealthy. And because the city is a peninsula surrounded by water, flood and windstorm insurance are non-negotiable and incredibly expensive. Local insurance agents report that premiums are a primary factor in killing real estate deals, as retirees see the final monthly payment and realize they simply cannot afford it. Want to rent instead? Rent Cafe shows the average rent in St. Petersburg is easily $2,200 a month. The very things that made this city so charming, the independent boutiques, the art galleries, the waterfront cafes, are now being supported by a new, wealthier demographic, and the retirees who built that culture are being pushed out. Is St. Petersburg still charming, or is it just costly? Number 6. Sarasota. Continuing south down the beautiful Gulf Coast, we arrive at a city synonymous with upscale retirement, Sarasota. This is where the dream of a sophisticated Florida retirement, with its theaters, art galleries, and pristine beaches like Siesta Key, was born. But upscale has now morphed into exclusive. The barrier to entry here is staggering. Redfin tracks the median home sale price as regularly topping $500,000. The Sarasota Herald-Tribune has published multiple reports on the severe shortage of attainable housing. The market is dangerously skewed by multi-million-dollar luxury properties, which pulls the entire market up, leaving nothing for the average retiree. PayScale calculates the cost of living here as roughly 8% higher than the national average. But that doesn't tell the whole story. Because this is a wealthy enclave, the cost of services is higher. Healthcare, while high quality, is often more expensive here than in other parts of the state. And then there's the insurance. That beautiful coastal exposure means you're paying top dollar for hurricane and flood coverage, a bill that local agents say has risen 30 to 50% year over year for many. Even renting offers no escape. Zumpers shows the average rent for an apartment is nearing $2,500. This is the point in our journey where the dream truly starts to crack for the average American. You cannot move to Sarasota with just a decent 401k. You need significant generational wealth to even get in the door. Is Sarasota only for the 1% now?
Number 5. Delray Beach. Now we cut across the state, leaving the Gulf Coast behind and heading for the glitzy Atlantic shore. Our first stop on the East Coast is Delray Beach. Once a quiet village, it exploded in popularity thanks to its incredibly vibrant Main Street, Atlantic Avenue, which runs straight to the ocean. It was the perfect blend of beach town casual and upscale living. The problem is, it's a victim of its own success. Delray Beach has effectively become an extension of hyper-expensive Palm Beach County, and the prices reflect that. The median home price here, according to Redfin, is often soaring over $600,000. And if you want a condo east of the Intercoastal, prepare for even higher numbers. BestPlaces.net shows a cost of living significantly higher than the national average, with housing being the primary culprit. But it's the daily expenses that eat you alive. A night out for dinner and drinks on the Avenue is notoriously expensive, easily costing $200 for two people. And like all coastal Florida cities, the insurance crisis is on full display. The hurricane risk on the Atlantic side keeps premiums soaring, with many residents reporting that their HOA fees, which include that master policy, have doubled. Renting is no better. Apartment list shows average rents are extreme, often averaging near $2,800 a month. Delray Beach is beautiful, it's vibrant, and it's fun. But for a retiree on a fixed income, it's a party you can only watch from the outside. Is Delray Beach's vibrant lifestyle worth that luxury price tag?
Number 4. Fort Lauderdale. Heading just south of Delray, we drive into the heart of Broward County, arriving in the Venice of America, Fort Lauderdale. This city was once the more laid-back alternative to Miami's chaos. It's no longer an alternative. It is a high-cost, high-density destination in its own right. The sheer price of entry is shocking. Realtor.com often shows the median listing price for a home in Fort Lauderdale is well over $650,000. If you want to live that Venice of America lifestyle with a home on one of the canals, you are looking at multi-millions. PayScale's data is alarming. It shows the housing cost here is nearly 50% higher than the national average. But the real story in Broward County is insurance. The Sun-Sentinel has reported that residents here are facing some of the highest and most volatile insurance renewal spikes in the entire country.
We're talking about policies that were $4,000 one year becoming $9,000 the next. This is simply not sustainable for a retiree. Renting? Forget it. Zumper's data shows the average rent easily surpasses $2,700. That yacht life fantasy you see on social media comes with a billionaire's budget. The cost of dockage, boat insurance, and upkeep on the canals is astronomical. Meanwhile, rampant gentrification in neighborhoods like Victoria Park has pushed prices to levels that are unrecognizable to longtime residents. This is no longer a sleepy retirement town. It's a dense, expensive, international city. Is Fort Lauderdale floating away from affordability?
Number 3. Boca Raton. Just a few miles north of Fort Lauderdale, we arrive at a name that is synonymous with wealthy retirement: Boca Raton. This city was literally designed to be an exclusive high-end retirement community. But that high-end baseline has now reached a level that is unaffordable to anyone but the truly rich. The median home price, tracked by Redfin, often fluctuates near $700,000. But that price is a lie. It doesn't include the real cost of living here, the mandatory fees. This is the hidden killer in Boca Raton. Many communities are governed by ironclad homeowners associations that charge fees in the thousands of dollars per month. Worse yet, many of these are country club communities, where private club data shows you must pay a one-time, non-refundable initiation fee of over $100,000, plus annual dues of $20,000 just to live there. Best Places estimates the overall cost of living is over 20% higher than the national average. The entire economy is based on a luxury standard. Groceries are more expensive, car repairs are more expensive, and healthcare is more expensive. Strict zoning laws, designed to keep the city exclusive, also keep the housing supply low and the prices artificially high. Rent Cafe shows the average rent is near $3,000 a month. You don't just move to Boca Raton. You must buy in at a level that most Americans cannot possibly afford. Is Boca Raton the very definition of an exclusive, unaffordable enclave?
Number 2, Miami. We now drive to our penultimate stop, the magic city itself, Miami. This is no longer a retirement city. This is a global metropolis, a playground for international finance, cryptocurrency speculators, and celebrities. And if you're a retiree, you are footing the bill. The cost of living here is dictated by foreign cash buyers, not by local incomes. The median price for a home in Miami-Dade County is staggering, often near $600,000. But if you want to live in desirable, safe retirement areas like Coconut Grove or Coral Gables, you are talking millions of dollars, period. The housing crisis is so extreme that Miami is consistently ranked by multiple studies as one of the most rent-burdened cities in the entire United States. An FIU study highlighted that Miami has one of the worst income-to-housing ratios in the country. PayScale shows utility costs are 20% over the national average, and transportation costs are also sky high. But the story that is terrifying residents right now is condo insurance. CNN Business and other outlets have reported that due to new regulations post-Surfside and the insurance crisis, condo association fees are exploding. Master insurance policies for entire buildings have doubled or tripled in a single year, forcing associations to pass on special assessments to residents costing tens of thousands of dollars. People are literally being forced to sell their homes because they cannot afford the fees, even if they own the condo outright. The glamour you see on Instagram is funded by a level of wealth most retirees simply do not have. This is a fantastic place to visit, but for most, it's an impossible place to retire. Is Miami a place to vacation, not to live?
Number 1. Naples. Our road trip is over. We now drive west, cutting across Alligator Alley to our final and most tragic destination, Naples. This was supposed to be it. The crown jewel, the quiet, pristine, and sophisticated ultimate retirement paradise on the Gulf Coast. It is beautiful.
It is clean, and it is safe. It has also become, quite possibly, the most expensive retirement city in the entire United States. The dream is now financially impossible for almost everyone. The numbers are breathtaking. The Naples Area Board of Realtors shows the median listing price is frequently over $800,000. And in the desirable areas, like Old Naples or Port Royal, the median is in the multi-millions. This isn't an anomaly, it's the standard. BestPlaces.net data shows a stunning cost of living, a full 30% higher than the national average. It's not just housing. PayScale estimates that healthcare costs alone in Naples are 18% higher than the national average. You are paying a premium for everything. Forbes recently named Naples the most expensive city in Florida and one of the most expensive in the entire country. Local financial analysts have reported that you need an annual income of well over $150,000 just to live quote-unquote comfortably here. That is more than double the average retirement income. The entire economy of Naples is based on servicing the ultra-wealthy. The combination of extreme wealth and extreme hurricane risk means residents are paying the highest insurance premiums imaginable. This is the ultimate irony of the Florida dream. The city that was perfected for retirement is now the one place most retirees can never, ever afford. Is Naples the impossible multi-million-dollar dream?
Our journey is over, and the conclusion is clear. The Florida retirement dream isn't dead, but it has changed. The postcard life of sun, golf, and beaches is still available, but it comes at a premium that many can no longer afford. It's not enough to save. You must do the math. You must look past the postcard and see the hard numbers on insurance, taxes, and the true cost of daily living. If this video opened your eyes, please hit that like button, share it with someone you know who is planning a move, and subscribe for more real financial truths. Let us know in the comments, are any of these cities still worth the staggering price? Thank you for watching.